Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to dive into an important and often overlooked issue, cyberbullying. This presentation is not just about defining what cyberbullying is, but about understanding its deep physiological effects, how it manifests in digital world, why it happens, and most importantly, what we can do about it. In a world where we are always connected through phones, laptop, tablets, social media, and messaging apps, the potential for abuse, harassment, and harm has also increased. Cyberbullying can happen to anyone regardless of age, gender, or background. It's time we shine a light on this modern problem and start meaningful conversations about online safety and digital kindness. Cyberbullying refers to bullying that takes place over digital devices like smartphone, computer, and tablets. It can occur through SMS, text, and apps, or online in social media, forums, or gaming where people can view, participate in, or share content. Cyberbullying includes sending, posting, or sharing negative, harmful, false, or mean content about someone else. It can also include sharing personal or private information about someone to cause embarrassment or humiliation. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can happen at any time, day, or night. And because it happens online, it can quickly spread to large audience and leave lasting digital footprints. This permanence makes the damage even more severe in many cases. Cyberbullying can take place on almost any online platform. The most common ones include social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, messaging apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, or even regular SMS, online forums such as Reddit or Discord, multiplayer video games with chat functions such as Fortnite, Roblox, and Call of Duty. These platforms are designed to connect people, but when misused, they can become tools for harm. What makes cyberbullying especially harmful is the anonymity it allows. Bullies may use fake profiles to avoid being identified, making it harder for victims to respond or report. Cyberbullying isn't one size fits all concept. There are many different types, and they can overlap. Let's explore a few common forms. First, harassment, repeatedly sending offensive or threatening message. Second, blaming, online fight using vulgar language or insult in public forums. Third, exclusion, intentionally excluding someone from an online for group or activity. Fourth, outing, sharing someone's secret or embracing information or false online. Fifth, impersonation, pretending to be someone else to damage their reputation. Sixth, cyberstalking, instance, repeated harassment that cause for or threat to safety. Each of these can have long-lasting emotional and social effects, and because they often happen in front of an audience to humiliation and multiplied. Let's talk about in the life impact of cyberbullying. The emotional toll is enormous. Victims often suffer from anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and even post-traumatic stress. They may feel unsafe not just online, but everywhere because online threats can sometimes lead to real-world danger. One of the most tragic outcomes of cyberbullying is suicide. Several teens around the world have taken their own lives after relentless bullying online. Cyberbullying can also affect academics and social relationships. Victims may skip school, lose friends, and isolate themselves. They must start to believe the hurtful things said about them. And because the bullying is digital, it follows them home. There's no break, no safe space. Let's look at some powerful real-world examples. Amanda Todd, a Canadian teenager, posted a video on YouTube detailing her experience with cyberbullying and blackmail. She was harassed relentlessly, and weeks later she died by suicide. Her video has now been viewed millions of times, a haunting reminder of how dangerous the internet can be. Megan Mayer, a 13-year-old girl from Missouri, was bullied by a fake account pretending to be a boy. She took her own life shortly after receiving cruel message. There are just two cases among many. Behind every screen is a real human being. The strategies remind us that cyberbullying is not just online drama, it's life or death. Why would someone choose to cyberbully? There are several reasons. Some do it to feel powerful or gain control. Others act out of jealous, anger, or revenge. Sometimes for people bully because they were bullied themselves. Peer pressure can also play a role, especially among teens. And sadly, many people do it for fun, not realizing the harm they cause. The internet creates a sense of distance. People feel less accountable when they're behind a screen. This is called the online disinhibition effect. It makes them say things they would never say in person. Bystanders, people who witness cyberbullying, play a crucial role. Most people stay silent, think it's none of their business, but silence can be seen as a profile. We need more often upstanders, people who step in, speak up, and support the victim. You don't have to argue with the bully. Sometimes simple checking in with the victim or reporting the behavior is enough. Your voice can make a huge difference. Cyberbullying is taken seriously by governments and schools, and many countries it's illegal and can result in school suspension or expulsion, criminal charges including fines or jail time, civil lawsuits for the defamation or emotional damage. Schools now have digital behavior policies and anti-bullying programs, but laws alone aren't enough. It takes a cultural shift in how we treat others online. If you're a victim of cyberbullying, remember, don't respond. That often makes things worse. Block the person immediately. Save the message or screenshots. There are evidence. Report the abuse to the platform and if necessary to the police or a trusted adult. Take to someone, don't face it alone. A friend, counselor, or parent can help. You are not weak for asking for help. You are strong for speaking up. Preventing cyberbullying starts with education and empathy. Schools should teach digital citizenship, emotional intelligence, and responsible internet use. Parents should talk to their children about online behavior early and often. And we all need to think before we post. It is true. Is it kind? It is necessary. A single message can either uplift someone or distort them. Social media companies must do more, while some have reporting tools and moderation. It's often too little, too late. We need faster response times, better software for victims, and the rules against repeat offenders. Users too should vote from responsibly. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom to harm. Cyberbullying is not just a teenage problem, it's a human problem. When that affects people of all ages, the internet shall be a place of connection and creativity, not cruelty. You have the power to make a difference by being kind, standing up for others, and thinking before you type. Let's be part of the solution. Let's build a more compassionate digital world. Before it really ends today, I want to remind you that behind every screen is a real person. Someone with feelings, struggle, and a story. A message you send might take just a second to type, but it's in fact called less lifetime. Cyberbullying thrives in silence and spread through apathy, but it can be stopped by awareness, courage, and compassion. Each of you has the ability and the responsibility to shape the internet into a safer, more respectful space. So I ask you, be the person who speaks up, be the friend who checks in, be the voice that applies instead of tear downs. Because in a world where we can be anything, let's choose to be kind. Thank you for watching this presentation. If this message resonates please share it with others. Let's keep conversation going because change starts with you.